Good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to Wacky Wednesday. It's been ages since I've told you a story. So now, sit back, relax, it's story time. Long, long ago, in a very prosperous land, lived a king with his three daughters, intelligent and talented. Yes, they had all the intelligence and all the talent in the world. But the youngest had a special talent. She was humble and simple, and hence she was a palace favorite. She was a favorite among the cooks. She was favorite among the staff. She was favorite among the cleaners. She was favorite among the animals. She was even favorite of the plants in the garden. Yes, she believed that if she was privileged, God wanted her to share her privileges with many, many more. And so she went about doing her little acts of kindness every now and then. Now, one day, at dinner table, where most family conversations happen, as our king was relishing his first mango of the season, he sat back and said, "Dear daughters, tell me, how much do you love me?" The first one stood up, adjusted her beautiful dress, and said, "Daddykins, I love you more than the gold and the silver in our kingdom." The king's heart filled with pride. The second one stood up, adjusted her earrings, and said, "Dadu, I love you more than the gems and the diamonds and the rubies and the emeralds of the whole world." Now the king's heart was going to burst with pride. And then the youngest stood simply, coyly, looking at her dad with all the love in her eyes. She said, "Daddy, I love you like salt." Huh? Salt? Salt? Did you just say salt? Useless, ridiculous salt? The king was furious. His big bubble of ego was punctured by her words. "Who's out there? Soldiers! Please take this ungrateful child and put her into the dungeon," she said. Tears streamed down the little one's eyes. Now remember what I had told you? She was a palace favorite. So the soldiers did drag her out. But once outside they said, "Little one, don't worry. We are taking you home, and there you'll stay with us till the king realizes your worth." So she stayed among the soldier and servant quarters, every day missing her dad, crying silently at night. The king too missed her, because after all she was his favorite child. Days rolled into months, and then it was the day for the king's birthday. The whole kingdom was getting ready to celebrate their king's birthday. The princess went quietly to the palace staff and said, "Please serve my dad his food in the most precious gold plate, and ensure that his cutlery is studded with gold and diamonds. Please do not forget." Then she ran to the chef, and with hands folded she said, "Please, dear chef uncle, just do me a favor. For this dinner, for this birthday dinner of my dad, please don't add salt." "What?" said the chef. "No salt? The food will be tasteless. The king shall behead me, dear child." "No, dear uncle. When he calls you and gets angry, just remind him that salt is useless. And that's what he had told me. Remind him that." The chef understood the plan. So there was this dinner party, a big banquet. And all the guests were sitting, and so was the king with his two daughters on either side. All the yummy dishes of the world were served on his gold plate with diamond and gem-studded cutlery. And he took the gem-studded spoon and took his first bite. "Ah! What kind of a food is this? It has no taste," he said. "Call the chef. Chef, what's wrong with you? What kind of a food is this?" Humbly, with his eyes lowered, the chef said, "Sir, it doesn't have the useless salt. Wasn't this the reason why you banished our little princess out of the kingdom?" In a jiffy, the light was on. everything made sense. The king understood his folly. He understood that salt, which he had called useless, was the reason food was palatable. All the gold, all the silver, all the gems, all the diamonds cannot make food palatable as much as can the little bit of salt. Where is my princess? I know she is behind this. I know she is here. Please get her to me, dear chef. Then from behind the curtain, out ran the princess with outstretched arm straight into her dad's arms. They both hugged and cried. Yes, dear friends, in our life too, simple, humble salt exists in the form of our secretaries, in the form of those people who assist us in our work. Their work may seem simple, their work may seem humble, but without them, we cannot achieve those greater heights. God has blessed me with two such wonderful people in my core team. Yes, one is Maitreyi and the other is Juliana. I don't call them my secretaries, they are my two wings. And together we fly far and wide, spreading nature's healing wisdom, healing more and more people. You too, look into your life. I'm sure you'll find somebody who silently has helped you. The sun we see because of his light and his heat. Do we see the wind? But does that mean the wind is not helping us? The wind helps us quietly, silently. So just because somebody's work is not evident doesn't mean it is not important. Never underestimate anybody's work. I remember the times I assisted the surgeon in the operation theatre. As the surgeon focused on saving the patient, he extends his hand behind. And without him saying, without him telling, the operation theatre nurse gives the right instrument at the right and precise time. His entire attention is on the patient because she takes care of every need of his. Yes, dear friends, the operation cannot be successful without her help. So the credit goes to the surgeon, but believe me, it equally belongs to the nurses working behind. So never ever say this work is important, this is not. Because if not for the groundwork, can we reach heights? Therefore, when we enter the temple, before we start our ascent, we touch and salute the first step. Because without this step, we can never reach the divinity in the Sanctum Sanctorum. In Indian classical dance and music, when the performer comes onto stage, he first salutes the ground. Because without the ground, can he ever perform? So on that, dear friends, 21st of April is World Secretaries Day. On this day, I thank all the wonderful secretaries throughout the world, today and always. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.